tonight, quote, "This is insane." The Democratic Senator Chris Murphy lashing out at Trump's Justice Department, responding to this statement from Trump's pick to lead the Washington, D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office, which referred to federal prosecutors as, quote, President Trump's lawyers. It comes as Trump taps right-wing podcaster Dan Bongino to be Kash Patel's number 2 at the FBI. He's a former Secret Service agent, but more recently, he was banned from YouTube for spreading misinformation. Tom Foreman is out front.
You have to lose. I'm sorry. We win, you lose. The new rules are in effect. My life is all about owning the libs now.
Fire-breathing, far-right, and a fierce critic of the agency where he will now be second in command. Dan Bongino has said the FBI is no longer a law enforcement entity. It is an opposition research firm for Democrats.
Folks, the FBI is lost. It's broken, irredeemably corrupt at this point. What the FBI did to Donald Trump, that wasn't law enforcement. It was tyranny.
Bongino pounded that message when agents searched the then former president's home for what they said were illegally held classified documents. And again, when Trump was shot during the campaign, an agent said the gunman's ideology was unclear.
It's amazing how they can never find a motive when the motive is right in front of your face.
Bongino backed Trump's false claim of a stolen election.
Terrified of a virus.
He promoted misleading information about the COVID pandemic.
You don't put the mask on, you're going to catch COVID. You don't catch the vaccine, you're going to die. Folks, nothing liberals tell you is true.
He railed about President Biden's enforcement on the southern border and teed up a slew of Trump's lies.
This is a total failure, isn't it?
There's never been anything like it. We had the safest border, the most secure border.
After serving as a New York cop, Secret Service agent, and losing 3 races for Congress, Bongino finally found his success in such messages, building a media empire that reaches millions.
If the Democrats come out instantly after this hit and scream conspiracy theory, then I know it's true.
And through his unfailing allegiance to Donald Trump,
The FBI is at it again.
Bongino has now found a fast track to the top echelon of an agency he has long wanted to take down.
I mean it when I say it. It's way past time to clean this FBI house up.
It is completely fair to say nothing about this is normal. Normally, the person who takes this job is an experienced FBI agent who knows many people, who knows how it operates. The Trump team is going to try something very different. Erin?
Certainly. All right. Thank you very much, Tom Foreman. I want to go now to Gregg Nunziata because he was general counsel to Secretary of State Marco Rubio in the Senate. He's also a veteran of the conservative legal movement and a Justice Department alum. So you've been in there, Gregg. And I just want to start with a post. You posted on social media, and I quote from you, Gregg, "The Trump administration is turning federal law enforcement over to unqualified, unprincipled, partisan henchmen." You know, it takes courage to come out and say that because, you know, look, your former boss is part of Trump's cabinet. You're a conservative, right? But you're coming out and saying this. Obviously, you feel passionately about it. How come?
The rule of law is fundamental to who we are as Americans. It's really what makes America great. It's what makes our freedoms possible, our democracy possible, our dynamic economy, our powerful standing in the world. The rule of law is just that fundamental to America. And having this administration increasingly making decisions, this is a pattern of decisions now in personnel, in policy, in the pardons, that appears to be warping the rule of law to serve the president's personal interests, not the interests of the American people, not the interest of equal justice under law. And we all need to be objecting to that. Republicans, conservatives, even Trump supporters should not want our Justice Department systematically weakened and warped in this way.
And yet, you are on a really lonely island, Gregg. As you know, you veteran of the conservative legal movement, general counsel to Secretary of State Marco Rubio before he took the job. I'm not saying there aren't some who agree with you, but there aren't many, and there certainly are. I don't even know how many, if you can even count them, who are out there publicly saying it. I mean, are you worried about retribution?
I think it's essential for Americans of all stripes and all roles to speak loudly, speak truths about basic principles that we share as Americans. The more we do that, and I hear from conservatives and Republicans all the time who share these concerns but hesitate to say them out loud. It's time to start talking out loud. The more we talk, the less bad things we'll get, and the more we will defend our institutions and our common values. So no, I'm not worried, but it is a chilling thing in America that you could even ask that question with some justice.
Yeah, it is. I want to play for you, Greg, a little bit more. I know we just played some clips of what Dan Bongino had said about the FBI. And, obviously the context here is usually the person who gets this job is someone who knows the institution and the organization. That's why you pick that as your number two. And obviously he's the opposite, right? He wants to dismantle it. And it just, again, here's a few of the things that he said.
What the FBI did to Donald Trump, that wasn't law enforcement. It was tyranny. I mean it when I say it. It's way past time to clean this FBI house up.
So, Greg, what are your, you worked for the Justice Department. I mean, what are your fears here?
There's a lot to be worried about. We have a highly performing Justice Department with very professional prosecutors, very professional FBI agents. Are they perfect? No. Are there opportunities for improvement? Of course. And I'm not opposed to this administration or any administration bringing in some reformers. But these are not the kind of leaders you would choose if you had actual concerns about any perceived or real bias in the FBI. You do not correct for bias in law enforcement by inserting more and aggressive bias pointing in the other direction. You correct for it by insisting on high ethical standards and appointing real professionals that Americans of all stripes can have faith in.
All right. Well, Greg, I appreciate very much your choosing to speak out and sharing with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg Nunziata. And next, why Trump's mass firings could backfire on him with a key part of his base. And then NASA. NASA is taking on Musk. And astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to walk us through it.